We're doing a massive challenge. You're going to be cycling around
epic challenge.
the entire island.
Yeah.
For 48 hours? In 48 hours? Is that what we're going to title it? That's actually one thing I would do.
We are going to be cycling like full. I mean, obviously, I'm going to sleep.
Yeah.
But we have 2 solid days of being on the bike.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think what's about to come.
Yeah.
But once this is done, if I can do this, I can do anything.
Absolutely. And that's what some people, like, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
There's a lot of limiting beliefs in people in general.
Yes, indeed.
And, you know, it's not necessarily, you could say it's their fault. Maybe it's just the way society's put on them.
It's hard. I think, you know what though, in life, we get a lot of things push us down.
Yeah.
There's a lot of reasons, and as you get older, what I've noticed is, as you get older, there's more opportunities to give up. There's more opportunities to feel like the easy way out is to not do it. You don't feel the same. Like when you're young, you have this, you know, I mean I did. I had this mind that I could do anything. As I've got older, there's been more conflict in my mind. But as I followed the route of ignoring the conflict, I found a more smooth path.
Okay.
And that's actually led me to better decisions, more productive decisions, and
opportunities
and
well,
more
right?
opportunities.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, I think, you know, if I had just left it, and because I think we all feel it, right? There's days where you just sit on your phone and you just think, well,
100%.
I'd love to just swing through this for hours and hours.
Yeah.
But it will genuinely destroy you. But if you just put down your phone, I mean, in my business, it's about picking up the phone. But if you put down the TikTok or you put down the Instagram and you pick up the phone and start making the calls that you need to do, if you start sending the emails that you need to send, if you start looking about the next steps of your business that you need to think about, life changes.
Yeah.
Life changes. And you have to push yourself to that though. And definitely as we get older it gets harder, but
that's true. Actually, it's very true, because one thing I've noticed being in the 9 to 5 life at the moment is because it's kind of easy, you could say, like you clock in at 9, you leave at 5, whatever.
And you know you're getting a paycheck at the end of the month.
Exactly. So it's is it like the comfortable nature of it?
Yes, yeah.
You're kind of like, whatever you do, you know you're going to get something at the end.
I mean, that's the beauty. And I must say, like, we've had for me, I've had a bit of a milestone in my business this month.
Yeah.
And we had a quick touch on it earlier on, but, you know, for the first 6 months of our business, I didn't take any salary. So yes, when we looked at the bank account, it kept on growing and growing and growing, and we were like, yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
Then in January, I started taking a salary. In March, my business partner started taking a salary. And as we came up to April, we wanted to bring down our profits as much as possible. So we invested a lot into the business.
Yeah.
So we came to a point where, you know, realistically, in our accounts, we didn't have enough to pay the next month's salary.
Yeah.
And for the first 2 weeks, I was, in the nicest way possible, shitting myself, thinking, fuck, if I don't make any money, I don't even know how I'm going to pay myself. And over the last 2 months, I mean, to where we are today, the most beautiful reassurance has happened. I've realised that I have a business.
Yeah.
Because not only have I earned, you know, a beautiful amount of money that I could pay myself for the next 3, 4, probably even 5 months with.
Wow.
In the last 2 months.
Wow.
But additionally, like, I know that is what I've been able to achieve in 1 or 2 months. And if I've been able to achieve that in 1 or 2 months,
where's the potential?
What is the potential?
Yeah.
And you know what also is the most beautiful thing is that it's that natural growth. That where we started off as a business is that we had so little going on, but we were able to tick by. Things have just naturally progressed. I mean, if you looked at our financials and actually looked at our Salesforce information, you'd see just this gentle increase.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, we had bad months.
Yeah.
I had a bad month technically, in theory, last month. My business partner had a great month, and that helped us as a business.
Yeah.
But we have good and bad months, but wow.
Yeah.
The potential when you run your own business is insane.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, to put it as blankly as possible, you will earn 5 times your monthly salary in an occupational job in 1 month of a good month in your business.
Yeah.
And if you consider that, you can then pay yourself for 5 months. You know,
this is why I do want to do this like full time.
Yes.
In the sense that I want to start. At the moment, I'm in a phase where I know I want to start a business 100%. And I'm very motivated, but everyone is motivated in that sense. You just have to do it, right?
But everyone in their own time, though. Like, I mean, I must say, like, I was 25 when I started my own business, and that's young.
Yeah, I just turned 25.
Yeah. Like,
so,
but this is it. Like, that's. I think 25 is a young age.
Yeah.
Like, when I tell people I set up a business at 25, they're like, you know, like, that's a bit young. Yeah. Obviously, for me, I started my business. I started in banking at 18, so I had a lot of experience. But, you know, like, so it's not. Don't rush into things, but at the same time, when the time's right. I mean, like, for you, for example, mate, what you're producing here and what you can do videography wise is insane. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I see people nowadays talking about AI taking over this type of space. Yeah. And I'm like, with all due respect, you can't produce the content that a real human being can produce. Yeah. Like an interview like this.
Yeah.
What we're going to produce over the weekend.
100%. Yeah.
All of this stuff, you can't put that in an AI and make it happen.
But you can use AI to our advantage, right?
You might be able to use AI as a tool.
Yes, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
As a, how can I make this video come more to life?
Yeah.
And I'm sure whatever we end up producing, this is all going to come out. I don't know how.
No, we'll see. Yeah, exactly.
But it's, you know, but what, you know, you are on the cusp of it. You know, like, I mean, we've been working together for years now, which is crazy.
And that's why I'm here, to be honest, because so Ben is. I to be honest, a lot of people that watch my YouTube channel don't really know what I do in the sense on the background. So just to let you know, like, of course I've got my day job and stuff, my 9 to 5, but I actually also start to kind of like make shorts and kind of help other people make content that they might not be used to with. And I met Ben 2 years ago. I kind of touched on it in the podcast, but 2 years ago now, right?
Yes.
Yeah. 2 years ago, and helped you out with the charity video then.
Yes.
Very simple charity video, you know, pretty much what we do in YouTube, that kind of stuff. And then over the kind of 2 years,
insane.
Relationship's been built, and I'm in a very lucky position right now in the sense. Is this on? Yeah, it's on. I was wondering, is this going to be turned on? But yeah, I'm in a very lucky position, meaning. This is my first ever gig where I've been flown out to...
We've grown together though, like, you know...
Flown out just to film this massive challenge, which I'm very excited for.
I mean, it's crazy, but you know, like, this is the thing, like, I'm a small business. I see you as you're probably pre-business, but...
100% pre-business probably.
But it's there and it's coming, and I hope that this will have some kind of impact to getting you to where you need to be, because... You know, like this. The thing is, right? We're all young guys. We all have aspirations. We of course, and the people that have the same mindset, the same energy. You know, we're all gonna end up in the same trajectory. You know, we all have the same. Yeah. I promise you now. I know where I'm gonna be in 10 years. There's no doubt. You know, I'm gonna be wondering what a yacht I want to borrow for the next fucking weekend. You know, genuinely. No, and not just being an arsehole, because I'll also be giving money to charity. That's a big thing for me. Yeah. But I must say, this is funny story is that my girlfriend's mum once said to me, they come from a very small Spanish pueblo. Town, small town in Spain. They don't have money. Money's not a thing. She once joked to me, "Oh, you'll have to take me on a yacht one day." She doesn't understand what I'm gonna make sure happens. Yeah. I'm gonna take her out on a yacht. I'm gonna take her out on a yacht that has a chef, that has the bedrooms, that has everything, that probably costs 60,000 euros for a week. I don't care. I'm gonna show her that she believed in me when nobody else didn't, because she looked at me and she just believed in me. Yeah. And those people that do that, my mum did, my dad did, You know, my girlfriend's mum did. Don't know why. My girlfriend did. I mean, you know, like those people that stand by you and believe in you from day dot.
Yeah.
When you look at them in the eye and tell them what your dreams are.
Yeah.
And they don't shut you down.
No.
No matter how big they are, and I'm talking big things right now.
Yeah.
They don't shut you down. They say you're gonna do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those people, I swear to God, they're gonna be with us.
100%.
They're gonna be on that ship. They're gonna be celebrating with me. Now, don't get me wrong. I will only do that when I can do that with a small percentage of whatever wealth I have, because the biggest percentage of my wealth will always be going towards charitable organisations. Because I tell you now, there is one reason that I set up my company, and my company is set up for one reason and one reason only, and that is because I am going to change the world. And let me tell you, you change one life in life, you will change the world. Now, how many lives can you change?
Yeah,
because if you change one life and you change the world, if you change 100 lives, how have you changed the world? If you change 1,000 lives, if you change 10,000 lives, my goodness me, there is opportunity for you to genuinely make the life a different place. If you change one person's life, he'll change another. If you change two people's lives, they'll 10 times that. Who knows? Every impact that you make, the butterfly effect is here.
I was literally just thinking that.
You can do it. Because when we think about going back in time, if you, as you say, kill a butterfly, it might change the world forever. Well, if that's the case, what can you do today that will change the future forever? That is honestly beautiful. I can't believe it.
I know, and you've had this vision for a long time. So
always.
So it's engraved as part of you, basically. Which is nice.
Yeah,
it's always good to have a long-term thing, I believe.
It is,
because it keeps you motivated at the end of the day, right?
It does. And you know what though, I'll always highlight, you lose yourself sometimes, and there was even a couple of times in the last couple of months where I forgot the why.
Yeah.
And I forgot the reason of why I was doing this, and my motivation dropped, my dedication dropped.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, things were still happening because there was almost a habit of me doing what I was doing, which was helpful. But I just, I want people to know that it's not a straight journey. Like, it's not just, straight to the top. You carry on working harder. You're the most motivated person in the entire world. But one thing that you can do that will help you is remember why you started. And why I started was for charity. And one thing I forgot over the last couple of months was why I started and the charitable impacts that I had. And I had an opportunity to help with a couple of charities in actually a financial space.
In here?
And not to do with the charity, but to do with my business. To do with my business. No. I genuinely, my company saved another charitable organisation 15% on the type of insurance that we were able to provide, which saved them thousands of pounds, which they were then able to re-inject into the community aspects that they were doing. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Because there was, one of these organisations helps homeless people, it helps people that are going through domestic abuse, people with mental health disorders, and also helps families that are going through struggles. And I was like, wow, genuinely, I've helped people get off the street. I've helped people, and the thing is, I've helped do these things by doing my job.
Yeah, which is crazy.
What a dream, right?
Yeah.
And then after doing that, I was like, wow, okay, this is what I want to do. This is what my focus is. As much as I'm going to do the other aspects of my job, I'm still going to focus on this. Yeah. Because for me, it's all been about impact and changing the world and making the world a better place and community and I need to bring it back there sometimes, because if we lose focus, we lose our aspirations. So
you always think you should start with the why, right? You should really have
why is massive.
I think that's what I need to knuckle down on.
Why is massive, because also I'll tell you the truth, I want to be rich is not why.
Yeah, because that could easily lose motivation.
But it's not why, because you don't really want to be rich. Being rich is something that you think about as that will make me happy, but you don't know that will make you happy.
No.
Whereas I think, for me, with the charitable aspects, is that I had experienced that providing me fulfillment in the past.
Yeah.
So by continuing in that avenue, I had continued with my fulfillment.
Yeah.
Now, any wealth and money and whatever, the one experiences that I've had is that you always want more.
Yeah,
you don't necessarily ever feel satisfied.
No.
You know, like you may step up in life and you may feel more comfortable. You may have the ability to, you know, buy more things. You know, take people out, spend a bit more money, but you never feel
it's a chase,
more.
Right? Rather than a content feeling.
Exactly that. Whereas, like with the providing for others without any necessary need for any fulfillment back, enabled me to have some kind of fulfillment that I never felt in any other shape, form, or way. Because I think realistically, we're humans.
100%, and I think you're touching on your point where you know that you've had a direct impact on someone, and just that in itself, like it's you feel super content. And
massively.
Then I always think money then becomes a byproduct, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So the more people, the more lives you impact. It's just like you're just gonna get
and
more
I think massively that's what's come to my attention over the last probably 30 days. Again, and I think this is realizations that come back and forth and back and forth. And I'm a young guy. I'm still learning. I'm not a 40-year-old man that's experienced these experiences. But one thing I'm finding now is that over the last 30 days, I've really established that why am I doing this should not be about the monetary value. Because although that gives you stability, although that gives you confidence about the future, although that gives you, you know, a bit of satisfaction, it doesn't give you fulfillment. And the fulfillment that you get from actually doing something that has an impact elsewhere, outside of yourself, in a different realm, is something that genuinely makes a difference. And I must say, like, where I have been able to make an impact outside myself, I mean, even now, we've already raised almost £1,000, it's already gone to the charity.
Yeah.
You know, like, genuinely, if I take a moment to consider the genuine impact that that's going to make is beyond me. We as a company sponsored an event the other day. We gave around, you know, £500, I wish, £500. We're a small company, but that company or that organisation, that charity, for every £15 donation, they were providing packages worth £750 to people in need.
Yeah.
And if I can say, I don't know what the maths are right there off the top of my head, but whoa. You know,
that's an impact.
We gave £500.
Yeah.
£15 equals £750 worth of impact. Like, the genuine ability for an organisation to make an impact is massive. And that's why I also believe, though, I'm a company, we don't have the ability to make the impact that these incredible organisations have. And I want to provide support to organisations that are already experts. I don't want to try and be personally a charitable organisation because I'm not the best.
No.
Whereas I want to work with those who are the best.
That makes sense, though. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Because at the end of the day, like, that is not your field. It's not your domain.
No.
But what you can do is actually support them.
Why not? Right? Because at the end of the day, as it is in all circumstances, you know, you work with a business and they're able to achieve more than you would be able to achieve because they're a business that specialises in a particular area. Charities are the same. You know, you support a charity that specialises in an area, their impact is humongous compared to what you would be able to do if you just tried to do what they were doing. Because of the fact they're experts in their field, they have the connections, they have the people, they know what they're doing, they provide it to where it needs to go, and they can make more of an impact with less money. So, you know, if you are in a business and you're in a privileged position, I'd always encourage, go and support the organisations that are already doing it, find who's doing it well, and just support them. You know, verbally, whatever way you can, you know, because this is what it's all about.
Okay. And do you always think that you should go and start a business with a co-founder?
Really good question. I don't know.
I've heard a lot of people say you should. But then what if, like, for me, like, I don't really know anyone that necessarily would, or like, how would you look for a business partner? Because you don't want friends to be your business partner, right?
You're really good. That's a really good point as well. Yeah. Being friends with your business partner can lead to difficulties. It's harder to maybe say things to a friend than it would be to somebody that you're purely in business with.
And just emotional barriers might even come during hard times, right? Whereas you need to be logical sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, look, bottom line, I don't know. Like, I have a business partner, and we're early days. It's too early in the business to say how well it works or doesn't work. I think you need to know who you're going into business with very well. You need to know that they have a specialty in their particular area that they can work with, and you both sort of understand where you are in the business.
Yeah.
In some cases, that can both mean that you're both salesmen and you have your community and I have my community.
Can that work then?
That could work. It could work in theory.
Okay. Yeah.
My point is, in all shapes and forms, is that whoever you go into business with, that you know what their capabilities are.
Okay. And do you think it has to be different from you, right?
Well, it can be difficult. It can be different from you. It doesn't necessarily need to be. I mean, like in sales, for example.
Yeah.
Sales specifically is that you might have a community and somebody else might have a community.
Okay.
For example, in my case, I with all due respect, I'm going to say how it is. I'm a white guy.
Yeah.
Called Benjamin.
Yeah.
I get on with white people and Jewish people because of the fact that my name's Benjamin and I'm a white dude, and genuinely sometimes cultural things come into play.
Yeah.
And I also highlight because my business partner is a Muslim.
Okay.
Yeah. And he comes from an Asian background from Pakistan.
Okay.
And he has his community from his mosque community. From his family community.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that doesn't mean communities intertwine.
No.
Because they do.
Yeah.
But in a lot of cases, especially with older generations.
Yeah.
Older generations stick to their own a bit more.
Yeah.
And maybe in 10 years' time, what I'm saying now won't matter.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is today, if I'm dealing with an older Jewish client, I might talk in a specifically posh way with him.
Okay. Yeah.
And they might appreciate that.
I see.
Whereas my friend may talk to his clients in Urdu or another language, and they might appreciate that.
I see.
And they might build their relationships based on that. So
that makes sense.
When I say two salesmen can work together, I mean it in the sense of that we have our own customers, we have our own black book, as we say, our own communities, our own customers, whatever.
Yeah.
And that works quite well.
That's really interesting. So actually, I am going to quit my job. So yeah, I'm going to quit. I'm handing my notice. Yeah, I know. I don't think I even said it. You just
dropped the bomb there on me.
Yeah. I know. It's one of these things. Like, I realize that at the moment. I mean, I got top performing in the company for the first quarter, and it was an incredible experience. They flew me out to Canada and everything. Like I was quite shocked, and I realized that like I've been doing the same thing and everything. It's good, but I've been very complacent in the sense that like there's not really much growth I can see between myself. I'm gonna hand in my notice on the 28th because my manager's away on holiday at the moment.
Okay, it's like 15th right now?
16th, 2 weeks 16th,
from now. Okay.
So it's Thursday, my manager...
So what's the plan though?
Yeah, so I'll tell you, and please let me know if you think this is a stupid idea, and also please let me know if you think this is a genius idea, which I don't know, but...
Who knows? Alright, let's go with it.
I'm backing myself and the reasoning, and I'll explain why. What I realise is now, I want to start a business in the future, so in the next year... I'm 100% going to start something. Okay. Ideally in the next couple of months.
Alright, but what's next?
That's the thing. So I realised that if I want to get there, I need proper sales experience. Okay. So I was like, fuck this. I'm gonna hand in my notice. Before I do that, let me line up a sales job.
Okay. You're a SaaS organisation.
SaaS, 100%. Yeah. Software as a service. Essentially, I'll be selling that. Right?
Okay.
So I want this experience. So what I did was it was 100 applicants. Okay. I dropped the application, but I knew I wasn't going to be seen. I was pretty late into it as well, about a week in. It says posted 1 week ago. Okay. So I was like, fuck this. How am I going to stand out? I messaged the recruiter on LinkedIn. I then he immediately got back and he was like, oh, cool. You're the first person that actually messaged me. Let me give you an interview next day. Got an interview next day. He said the interview was okay. To be honest, I kind of fumbled it a little bit because I didn't do too much research. But he was like, I'm going to put you through anyway.
As a salesman, you don't use no shit.
I know. But I was quite like, oh fuck, okay. And I literally put 10 hours of research planning. I made my own 90-day plan into a real interview.
Oh wow, you did a 90 days.
90-day plan. They were blown away. They hired me on the spot. And they, 2 days after. But they said it was the best interview they've had in the 100 applications.
Wow.
And I got an offer. Like 2 weeks ago I accepted it.
Okay.
But my plan is basically to quit my current job, go into a full-time sales job, learn the art of selling, learn people skills like what you've done, learn how to handle objections, email like
and you know what, make 100 mistakes,
100% man.
You know, like fail 100 times.
Yeah, I want to be, because I'm scared, but I want to be scared when I'm on the phone.
Yeah.
I want to be uncomfortable.
You know what, like the thing, and I was actually funnily enough saying this to a guy the other day, earlier on today as well, just like, the scariest thing about a phone call is before you make it.
Yeah.
Because the second you've made the phone call, even if that guy tells you to fuck off, you hang up that phone call and you're like, I'm glad I did it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the craziest thing about sales, is it's like everything is in the mind.
Yeah.
And if you can get over the mind telling you to not do it, telling you everything to fuck up, you could do it. And I think
that's transferable into life even, right?
Oh, massively.
So that's why I think
everything is life.
I think sales is honestly one of the jobs that really transfers everything into life.
Oh, massively.
I think it's just, that's why I'm so passionate about sales now.
Yeah.
I know it's a bit weird thing to be passionate about.
No, it is. No. I'm with you though. So, like it's. I think it's provided me with more confidence than anything else in life as well. You know, like I found more confidence in the fact that when you do things that scare you, and let's be honest, I think as humans, sometimes the scariest thing is to interact with another human that we don't know, is whether they even want to talk to us. And that sounds kind of funny, right?
Yeah.
But I think genuinely that might be one of the scariest things in life.
100%.
You know, and especially you like when I think of it, I think of, oh, this is going to be like the most posh guy. He runs a company. He's so intelligent. He knows what he's talking about. I'm going to pick up the phone to him. He's going to be more intelligent than me.
Yeah.
He's going to know what he's going to be. I'm going to talk to him about my service, and he's going to know more about my service than me. And I just consider all of the worst things in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And then most of the time, I don't think I've ever had anyone actually end up being that, that biggest fear that I always had.
It's the thing that you put on yourself.
It is, yeah. And, like the amount of times that I've been rejected by somebody on the phone and I've just hung up the phone feeling like, well done, Ben.
Yeah.
You bloody did it.
That's the thing.
Crazy, right?
I think rejection is actually the most powerful thing, and I read this in a book recently, $1 Million Weekend by Noah Kagan.
Yeah.
And basically what he was saying, so he was a 30th employee of Facebook.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he started his own business, like crazy.
Yeah.
Good, great book. Essentially what he was saying is that he has a rejection counter when he was in sales.
Yeah.
So like he doesn't go in for, let me try and win this guy over, let me try and get him across the line, right? He goes in, okay, today I'm going to aim for 25 rejections this morning. Right? When he aims like that, and he's going to try his best to not get rejection, obviously, but he's aiming for, he's expecting the rejection.
He's expecting 25
So cool,
rejections.
like first guy rejection, second guy rejection, third guy rejection. Wait a minute, fourth guy
said
yes.
I've never even considered looking at it like that, but I would like to consider that in my next set of cold calling.
Love it. Like honestly, so I've been doing it at work, so I have people are like, why do you do that? I explain to them, they're like, oh cool, let me try it as well. But I have a little post-it note, call it the rejection counter AM.
Yeah.
And I just try and make as many calls as possible and tick them off.
Because
some calls, the first one, someone's like yes, and the feeling then sets you up. It's incredible. You can't even describe it.
It's crazy. I mean, because I've heard something similar, not rejection-wise, but there was one of the greatest salesmen. I can't remember. I read it in a book once, but he had this thing where he would have 2 pots in front of him, and he'd have 100 pins in one of the pots, and he'd make a call, and whether it was rejection or whatever, he'd put it down the phone, he'd put a pin in the pot, and at the end of the day, he would have had to move 100 pins into the other thing. He wouldn't stop calling until he had done 100 calls, moving 1 pin to the other pot, 1 to the other pot.
Wow.
What they gave him is, they gave him that perspective or progression of every call that he had made. He is adding to that pot. He is giving himself another opportunity, And he in this organisation was one of the most successful salesmen in his organisation.
Mate, I'm going to use this now.
I wish I knew more about the story right now to the top of my head. But I remember reading it thinking, wow, what a fantastic idea. And just because it gives perspective to what you've accomplished in a day. And cold calling is a very much of a small thing because one doesn't make an impact. But once you've done 25, that's a difference. Once you've done 50, you're like, wow. Okay. Once you've done 75, you're almost impressed. Once you've done 100, successful or not, you can look at what you've achieved that day and say, you know what, I've done the best that I could have done. You know, and I think it gives you a bit of perspective to yourself. And I guarantee, look, if you make 100 calls a day, you're going to be the best fucking salesman in the room. Yeah. Guaranteed. You know, you could be the stupidest guy on the phone. You're still going to get a few fuckers over. Yeah. You know, if you're making 100 calls a day, you're going to win. Yeah, so, I mean, that was a great story. I mean,
I really want to do that now.
Give it a go. I mean, I still would love to find.
So yeah, man, that's the plan. Yeah. Don't know what you think about that. To stay in sales.
I'm with you, bro. Like, I think what that's going to give you an opportunity. Sales is all about understanding your customer. Now, how can you understand your customer when you're trying to get in touch with them to try and understand about them, to understand about whether your product's the right thing for them? Right? It's a difficult conversation, you know. And for example, me as a finance broker, I pick up the phone and say, hi there, you know, my expensive business. I'm just wanted to make sure, do you currently work with any finance brokers with your business? Because what I'm trying to understand there, right off the bat, is do they work with other people about it? And then when they say, oh no, you know, like, I'm not, you know, I don't work with anyone. I was like, that's really interesting. You know, I mean, it's really important to make sure that you have some financial support when you're considering your business's growth. Have you ever considered working with a financial partner to make some aspirational goals for the future? You know, everything I say is leading to a question. Because the question is where I'm getting the information I need to be able to establish whether there's a product to be sold here. Because I mean, if I say, have you ever considered about it for growth, and they say to me, I'm 75 years old, I don't care about it, I'm going to sell my business in a year's time, I don't need to worry about it, right? But if they say, you know, yeah, well, you know, we're having an issue with cash flow, or, you know, well, you know, we need a new asset to buy, you know, something else, or, you know, not right now, but I am interested in growth, you know, and then I can say, well, if you're interested in growth, then what are your plans for the next 5 years? Like, where do you want to be in 5 years' time from now? They tell me their plans for 5 years, and then what I do with the 5 year plan is I set milestones, you know, call it year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, of what they will require in those years to get to whatever milestones they want to achieve. And the whole point is that, well, I know where you want to be in 5 years. I understand what your plans are for the business. Let's set milestones. Let's work together. And from my point of view, you think as a customer that I'm just saying these are the steps to get there. But what I'm doing as a business is I'm saying these are how I'm going to obtain my deals. And these are how my business is going to earn its income. By supporting you with this deal, that deal, this deal, that deal, this deal. And I'll put in my diary, contact this person on this day, contact this person on this day, contact this person on this day. Keep in touch with them on a 3 monthly basis if it is over the, you know, how's business, what's going on, just to make sure I'm still here. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. You know, people might just say, I don't want to chat to you right now, that's fine. Just keep in touch. In sales, if you give a shit, genuinely, kind of works, you know. 100%. And for me, I genuinely give a shit.
Yeah, to be honest, that is literally the one thing I'd probably say what I've learned the most is when I've read about it online, when I've read books, when I've seen podcasts and everything. All the successful businesses, they say one thing. And actually, I spoke to my founder at the current company I'm in. I actually got a 10-minute chat with her. That's a crazy story in itself. But I asked her the same question, and she said the same answer. It's the customers come first.
Genuinely care.
It's genuinely that, because if you put the customers first before your P&L, before you know, growth or whatever. If you put the customer first, you identify their problems. Money comes,
massively.
Right? Whatever. But you're helping someone, like you just said.
I mean, you know, if you're not solving a problem, then why are you here? You know, like my business came out of frustration that I couldn't support my customers within the bank that I worked for. Every business has come from two things: frustration or innovation. Mm-hmm. Frustration where they weren't able to support people within their existing organisation, or innovation where they found a better way to do things. And that's where business come from. Mm-hmm. So for me it was frustration, other people it was innovation, and it's always got to be about finding a innovative way to make your customers' life easier, or that you're frustrated that you can't help your customers in a certain way and finding a better way. And it's all around the one same thing: your customer.
Got it. That makes sense.
Massively.
Yeah, man, that's amazing already. Like, so this series is called, I didn't even go into it, but it's called Chasing Your Dreams in 7 Days.
Oh, love that.
Yeah, I think that's the title.
It might take you more than 7 days.
Oh, no, just to clarify, it will take me a lot of, probably years, right? Yeah. But I want to I want to call it Chasing Your Dreams in 7 Days. A, because I think it's quite catchy, and I feel like people will click on it. If I'm being completely honest.
I'm with it.
but B, it's also 7 days where I can really learn. Yeah. And that's what I really want to put. Like the 7 days, like I want to be chasing my dreams every day.
Of course.
But these 7 days, I'm actually like in an opportunity where I can be with you.
Yeah.
I can learn from you, like I have just done in the last 40 minutes or whatever.
Well, we learn from each other.
But also just this experience in itself, like this whole 7 days is a complete learning opportunity. That's what I'm seeing it as.
Yes. Yeah. And also, let's also consider it this way: it's not these 7 days, but it's that every 7 days of the week that we're learning.
There we go. There's a deeper meaning to it.
It's not necessarily considering the next 7 days. It's considering these are 7 days of learning, and these should be your every 7 days. And this is the beginning of months, years, decades, and much, much more of us continuing to educate ourselves and grow.
100%.
So.
100%. No, man, I appreciate it. That is. I like that take. I'm gonna definitely use that.
Yeah,
for
all
sure.
with it. You're more than one. You know what I mean? Everything.
Amazing.
Oh, love it.
I'm gonna end it here. I think that's
wonderful.
Like 45 minutes. Oh wow, pretty much a podcast, and I didn't. I love that.
Probably 2 a.m.